good evening, everyone. The holidays have come, and now we're heading to the end of another year. And so much news, but this one caught my attention, and I want to share it with us. Now, you see in this picture, we have a party promoter whose name is Robert Blake, and his son Rashawn Blake. They're from Tivoli Gardens, but Tivoli Gardens is always linked to the negatives with the all sort of killing and always bad promotion. But here we have an example of something that is good and worthy to be shared. Because as I looked at this picture and I saw the heading that they were actually feeding people in the downtown area of King Street on Christmas Eve. And so he said that the initiative began 8 years ago when his daughter, she was only 7 years old then, was talking about how the homeless people in Kingston and St. Andrew were without food, and asked her dad to cook for them. And so she had even promised or suggested that she would donate a portion of her daily lunch money to help with that venture. And so later on, other people started coming on board, donating, but he said by the second year they all backed down, because obviously it's not easy for them either, right? So they were talking about the challenges they were having. They didn't have much for themselves. But he said he was forced to do it alone with the help of his mother. But it gives him joy. He says, it gives me joy to be feeding the homeless. And he said he wished other people would get involved so that more of the homeless and others in need of food can get the benefit. So people, as we go about and we see all of the negatives and the bloodshed and the robberies and all of that during the season, so many, we here have an example that many of us can follow. We don't have to have a lot in order to give back a little to those who are less fortunate. Cooking a meal even to feed 6 people. You put it in the containers and you drive down in the area you know they are. Even for 6, makes a big difference. A lot of times we see homeless people and we look down on them, and we never stop to think that many of us are living one paycheck away from being homeless. One paycheck, people. Homelessness is not something where people are worthless and lazy that put them in those situations. Oftentimes these are people with good jobs who maybe something happened and just not being able to pay rent or to pay a mortgage or to, and just maybe 1 or 2 months they get put out. Many have lost jobs and not able to work enough to maintain a dwelling, especially in Jamaica when you look at rent prices, housing prices. It is interesting that we don't see more people out there. And so when we see them, we shouldn't look down on them because we don't know. Sometimes people get sick, and because of that sickness, they're unable to work. And if they're not working and making money, then they're going to lose a lot. Sometimes it's a fire. Sometimes relationships become sour and people become angry, so angry that even though the other party contributed and helped to build, all of a sudden they have to get out. And getting out and have nowhere else to go, what do you do then? So let's not look down upon them, people. Let us help them. Let us help them, because we don't know the reasons why their situations changed and they're ending up where they are. So when you cook, if you can spare 2 meals and you put them in the containers and hand them out, it does help. It does save a life. It does give someone some hope. So as we start entering for the new year, let us remember that every little deed of kindness, every little word of love makes the world a better place. And so let us be determined to do those little things, the community services, the things that matters most. You know, let us start looking now and in a different direction where we're helping those who really, really deserve to be helped. Let us stop casting pearls before swines and helping those people who don't want to be helped. They're not moving up, they're not making changes, they're just sitting back. But let us look for those who really deserve to be helped and make sure that as the year comes in and we start the new year, that more needs will be met. So this is a story I wanted to share, thanks to the Observer, the Jamaican Observer. I was able to find this beautiful, inspirational, encouraging piece of community work going on where people are selfless and willing to give back. And in the news again today, we have some sad story. The grandson of the legendary Bob Marley, whose name is Joseph Marley, reportedly found unresponsive in a motor vehicle today. This young man, the son of Stephen Marley, was 31 years old and was known for such songs as Burn It Down, Made It, and No Way Out. You can just imagine the outpouring of tributes to him on social media, because, as it is said, he was well loved. And out of Jamaica, we have opposition leader Mark Golding, who described the young man's death as tragic. And he says he remembered the singer as a talented young man. And he said, may his soul rest eternal in eternal peace. And someone, this jock and producer, Walshy Fire, he said, this young man his talent and intelligence was insane, and he sends him love. And meanwhile, his aunt, Leah Tavares Finson, the sister of Marley's uncle, Damian Marley, posted that he should rest easy. And it is reported that this young man, who was only 31, suffered from asthma. So we know that asthma is not something you can play with. We know that asthma, it affects the lungs. But one of the good things, people, is that when you struggle with these things, you have to not only take medication, but find the things that triggers it. Find those foods, the wheat, the hard pasteurized milk, those things that triggers the asthma, so that you can find a way to control it at least. So, as we say, rest in peace, or condolences to the family members. It's not easy to lose a child, whether it's a young child or an older child. No one is ever prepared for death. But we stay hopeful, and we continue to build the memories and go back and look back at the memories that were created, the bonds shared. And we use those times of laughter to carry us through. So again, may his soul rest peacefully. But again, this young man, who is the grandson of the legendary Bob Marley, passed away today, December 27th. So my MBP News family, here we have one more story. I couldn't end without sharing this story with you guys. And this story is about a couple, David and Eva, who is going strong after 48 years of marriage. And so during this time of the year, when people are encouraged to spread joyful messages, they want to share their messages with us. And it says that they have been married for almost 5 decades, 48 years, and they have 11 children from this marriage. So congratulations to you, Miss Eva, and your husband, Mr. David. Mr. David is 75 years old. Miss Eva is 68 years old. And their story is a good one, people, because in the beginning, she says when he approached her and told her that he loved her and that he would have her to be his wife, the love at first sight of her, or they said wasn't returned by Miss Eva, but eventually one morning she said she was going to work, and she said when they passed each other, what he said to her was that he would like to marry me. I said no, she recalled. However, the seed was planted and she couldn't stop thinking about him. That's a good story, people. And she said the next time I saw him, I made up my mind, and I said yes. And you see, when I said so, he said, oh, I was giving you until the 20th of July, she said. And she said that day happens to be her birthday. And so this became the starting point of their romantic journey. So she also explained that they decided on a December wedding date because it gave them time to court and receive the proper permission from their parents. So beautiful. And so David gave me a letter to give my parents, which said that he was going to meet them. And when he came that Sunday morning, I was so nervous. However, when David stated his case of asking for their daughter's hand in marriage, my father said to him, "That's a man." Oh my God, I get goosebumps, people. This is such a beautiful story. You know, there's so much negative, so many marriages that people don't even, you know, there's no love. The love is not there. The caring is not there. The respect and the little things. It's not big things and it's not big gifts. It's not those things that should matter. It's the little things, those little gestures that makes you feel good. A cup of tea, a hug when you get home. How was your day? How are you doing? The little things that just makes it a big, beautiful, romantic thing. Because when you care, that's what makes it work. It's not oh, the big monies that come in or it's the little thoughtful things that matters. And she said, no one can say that we failed. You know, we stand on the promises of God, Eva said. Life wasn't always easy, but David ensured that they did right by each other. They did right by each other and by the children as dedicated parents. Eva noted that they spent that holiday season as a married couple on lockdown, doing the things that newlyweds should do. It was the best Christmas, spending quality time together as a couple and a family. 9 months later, the first bundle of joy. Oh, so beautiful, people. This is like such a great story. She said 9 months later, yep, they did what they had to do as couples. And 9 months later, here comes the first child. And yes, when times were not easy, they still stayed together. She says, taking the time out to steal kisses in between dialogue, David and Eva shared that the ingredients of a happy and successful marriage includes love, communication, patience, and understanding. Those are some good ingredients. Never feel like you're better than anyone. Both of you are together and you make it work. And she said, I remembered my grandmother saying, teeth and tongue must meet. Of course it's going to meet. Of course people are going to have this have those moments of disagreements, but if you keep the peace, things will roll on. And she says, I've never passed, and I've passed that on to my children also. Any problems, just talk it over and walk it out, she said. She also opined that the only one who can fight battles is Christ. And today at this moment we're feeling jolly good that we are on the Lord's side and that we are blessed to see so many years of marriage. No one else could take it, that could take us but God. The family that prays together truly stays together. So until next time, please subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, join the conversation, and leave your comments about the stories that were shared today. Good night.